Now this goes out to all of my beautiful people. I'm J Star, you know it's nice to meet ya. 7:45 a.m. catch me on the morning meetup, hosted by David Shanes.
There you have it. All right, cool. So every month we change the theme of the month. We did not change it last week. I was gonna say it's because I wanted to finish out the book, but really, I just forgot. You know what I mean? So I was gonna say, normally we change on the first and we announce it, but I forgot. I mean, we were just so into this whole thinking big thing. I just forgot to change the theme. But the theme of this month is how to make money a slave. Did you know that money is to be a slave for you? Slave. It's supposed to work for you. It's supposed to leave your pocket, go out into the world, work for you, then come back with friends. That's how money's supposed to work. Now, some of us look at money differently, as if we look at money as our oxygen. Some of us look at money as a king runs our life. Some of us look at money as a god. And our whole being or existence is for money. But it's actually not a god or a king. It's a slave. I want you to only look at your money as a slave. I was talking to one of my friends, and he said he hates having money in his account. Because if money is in his bank account, that means it's not working. He said, I'm about to start investing in all kind of stuff. Just to get the money out of my account so the money can do its job. The job of money is not to make you feel good, but the job of money is not to complete you or to help you live a fulfilled life. It's actually a slave. Now that we understand that process, we need to know what our goal is for money. So today we're just going to kind of talk about goals. I'm going to lean heavily into financial goals though. Are y'all okay with that? Are y'all okay with financial goals? Are y'all cool with me talking about money? I am, as of today, so Friday evening, I was feeling weird. I was just like, I just wasn't feeling myself. And then I had a stuffy nose and a runny nose. And I said, oh crap, I did the event. I did the white party and then did the day party and I done got COVID. So I took a COVID test Saturday and it was negative. So I just contracted the common cold. I still have it. I don't know if you can hear it. It's still stuff. I'm still stuffy a little bit. The cool part is I wasn't worried about not being able to pay my bills because I've made some decisions that allow money to go out and work for me. So what I want you to do is I want you to envision what would happen if your ability to perform, your ability to work stopped. How long could you go without working before the money dries up? I just want you to think through that real quick, okay? This is not a tutorial. This is not a class in this particular session. I just want you to think through that. For some of us, we're like, oh, I'm on the right path. My mindset is already there. But for some of us, even this thought or conversation is terrifying, which is okay. I remember being there. Believe it or not, people who earn high incomes are just as terrified when they think about this that you're thinking about right now as you. I'm talking about sports figures, high-level business owners, people who make $1 million a year, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, super successful people, terrified that if they can't go out and work for a long period of time, it's over. So today we're going to start talking about goals. Anybody feeling that burn? a little bit. It's okay. Listen, here's the thing. There's power in transparency. There's power in transparency. That's why I do my very, very best to be as transparent as possible. Anything that I'm going through, I'll let y'all know. Because there's power in transparency. But there's only one way to get over it. Whatever we're dealing with, the thing that we're embarrassed about, there's one way to get over it, and that's being transparent. Because we have to realize that there's a problem, and then we have to go fix it. So how long could you last? I'd have 9 months. Okay. Let's see. A couple weeks. All right. How long could you last? 2 years, 2 months. I'd have 9 months. Good. 3 months, honestly. Good. 1 year, 4 days. Yes. Good. Okay. I want us to start to identify some end of the year goals. Where would you like to see yourself financially by December 31st, 2021? What financial situation would you like to see yourself in? It is now September, so we got October, all of September, October, November, December. So we got about 4 months. What will be that financial goal? Is there a particular amount of money that you need in the bank? Is there a particular amount of investments that you want to have? Is there a particular business that you want to be thriving and hitting a particular number? Just take your time. Listen, this is a holiday for some people, and some people took off. Y'all know we normally have 500 people. Tomorrow we'll have 500 people on the call, right? But people took Monday off. It's okay. So I don't feel the obligation to talk long. So we can spend some time thinking. By the end of the year, where do we need to be? Where do we need to be? Just close your eyes and envision it. Let's just see where we want to be. It might be a big goal, but I do want them to be smart, okay? We might as well just teach that one more time, right? SMART goals, we should get into it one time, real quick. It'll take me 5 minutes. Replace my current income, okay? End of the year, 150,000. Is that 150,000 in the bank? Is that 150,000 in passive income? Is that 150,000 total for the year? SMART goal is 5,000 monthly, double income, double investments, okay? 20K a month, Mr. Wynn. 75 a month through Airbnb, good. Okay, let's get into the SMART goals. Let's do it. And I'm gonna do it because I learned how to do picture in picture, which is really cool. All right, cool. All right, let's do it. Bang, picture in picture. I'm getting good. Remember, I was terrible with this board. I'm getting better with the board now. Okay, so here we go. So, SMART goals. Okay. It's only going to take 5 minutes for those who have heard it before. But for those who have heard it before, you probably aren't actually doing it anyway. So we're going to go through it because you need a reminder. Make sure this goal is specific. It needs to be a number. Very specific. Specific means I know when I hit it. So I don't want to hear financially free. I don't want to hear double my income because that's not specific. Specific is a number. I don't want to hear getting wealth or building wealth. I want to start the process of building wealth. That's not specific. Specificity means I can pinpoint when I hit it. If the goal is to have $100,000 in the bank, we know when we hit it because we'll open our Bank of America app and say, oh, crap, I have $100,000 there. That's specific. So we need it to be very specific, okay? The goal needs to be measurable. Can we measure it? So if we have 4 months and the goal is in the next 4 months, forget what we did the rest of the year. If in the 4 months, our goal is to make $100,000 in 4 months. If by the end of October, if we're at 50,000, then we're on track. We can measure it. We can see what we have to do and what we don't have to do. Now, some of these goals, and we're going to go a little deeper with it, but some of these goals will be measured by measurements. The specific goal will be measured by other specific goals. And I'll get through that in just a minute. But make sure this goal is, it can be measured. All right. Attainable. Can you attain this goal? Now, some people think attainable and realistic are the same, and they're not. The goal being attainable based on who you are, the who's you have the ability to find, your skill set, your mindset, your network, the time that you have available, the money that you have. Is this goal attainable, or is it a pie in the sky goal? Now, I'm not saying that you can't do something that you've never done before, but it needs to be based off of something. So, all right. Let me share this with you. Should I? Yeah, I guess I could. Now, is it possible to make 6 figures in a day? Is that possible? Yeah, you really just have to have maybe a $20,000 product in front of a large group of people and sell 5 of them. You can make $100,000 in a day. Is it possible to make 7 figures in a day? Yeah. You just have to sell a $25,000 product to 40 people. And if the crowd is large enough and the value is valuable enough, you can make $1 million in one day. Now, I've never made $1 million in a day. However, I plan to. But it has to be attainable based on, can you deliver $100,000 worth of value to somebody that they will be willing to invest $25,000 for you? Can you deliver $200,000 worth of value and someone says, you only charging $20,000 for that? Yeah. $30,000? Listen, my mentor, again, we know, I invested $55,000 into his program. He only need like 18 people to do that. If he had a large crowd of 100 people and the offer was valuable enough and 18 people bought a $55,000 program, let me just make sure my math is correct. $1 million divided by 55,000. Oh, no. Yeah, I think it's 18. $1 million divided by $55,000. Yeah. So you need like about almost 18 people. If you have a crowd of 100 people and these 100 people see the value of investment and 18% or 18 people bought a $55,000 product, $1 million in one day. Isn't that cool? Now, I didn't think something like that was attainable until I met a bunch of people that did it, who had less, in my opinion, less skill set than me. They just had a little more training. All I needed was the training. And I said, I can do that. So one day I'm going to have a $55,000 offer. Actually, my mentor has a $1 million offer where if you invest $1 million, he's going to coach you to make much, much more. First off, can you even see yourself investing $1 million to make another $1 million? It's crazy. Believe it or not, he has a client and invested $1 million. Here's a client that invested $1 million into his program. It only took one person to make $1 million that day. And I'm going to start using slightly bigger numbers because I think y'all can handle it. I think we can go past making $5,000 a month. I think we can go past that. I think we can go past just making enough money to pay the bills.
Sorry.
This stuff is attainable, but you got to see it first. It's not attainable for you if you haven't seen it. If you're not in an environment where you see it happening, it's not attainable, nor is it realistic. So I want you to spend some time based on that specific measurable goal that you have by the end of the year, based on the time you allocate, based on how much you love watching TV, based on your mindset when it comes to investing. Is this goal attainable for you? Okay, next, realistic. Is this goal even realistic? So we started talking about goals. This big vision that you have in your head, it's not even realistic that you're going to be able to do it on your own. But all we see is the vision. And I'm not saying that the vision is not coming to life, because it is. But right now, it may not be realistic for you. Now, this is a kind of a touchy subject because I never want somebody to dwarf their goals because of somebody else's opinion. But I just want you to go through this process of, is this goal realistic? All right. Now, this goal got to be time bound. Okay, it has to have a number of like what the income is going to be in a certain time frame, and we have the time frame, right? By the end of the year, December 31st, there has to be time attached to it. Really, unless the goal is specific with a number and there's a time attached to it, there's really no way for you to measure it. There's no way to even measure if it's attainable or not. And it's hard to tell whether it's realistic or not because you don't know how much time you got. Here's one thing I do realize, though. We all need a deadline. It's the deadline that pushes your goals forward, not the ability or the activity. It's the deadline. The deadline is the catalyst, I believe, because now you can measure it. I got this much time to knock this thing out, and now I can track it. Who do I need to help me get there in this time frame? Okay. So we got our goal by the end of the month. So what do we have to do what is the goal in the next 4 months? I'm sorry, I'm sniffling a little bit. I feel like, I feel like I'm doing this challenge. I feel like MJ with flu game. You know what I mean? Like, just like my flu game. I'm still knocking it out. I'm gonna have all the energy in the world, and then I'm going to take a nice tall glass of NyQuil, and I'm gonna go to sleep. All right, so in the next 4 months, what do we want to accomplish? Okay, rework that number if you need to. Next 4 months. All right, next, what do we need to accomplish in the next 4 weeks to hit the goal in the next 4 months? What do we need to accomplish? Hold on. Dang, you know how you got to sneeze and you just can't? Dang, that just feels crazy. All right, anyway. What do we need to accomplish in the next 4 weeks to hit the goal in the next 4 months? Get 2 more cards on Turo, okay? All right, there we go. What do we need to accomplish in the next 4 weeks? Put it in the chat. Okay? All right. A plan. Oh, gosh. David, do I got to go back through the SMART goals? David, a plan. I need a specific goal in the next 4 weeks. Yes, you're going to need a plan, but what milestone do I need to hit in the next 4 weeks? And here's the thing, make sure it takes 4 weeks. Sorry, guys. Make sure it takes 4 weeks. Here's what's crazy. The thing that you think is going to take 4 months is probably going to take 4 weeks. The big goal for some of you is you'll probably have that joint knocked out in 2 months, which means the goal isn't big enough. This is work. Yo, setting goals is work. You know how like I'm like, yo, what's the goal that you need to hit in the next 4 weeks? And you guys just throw it out. That means one, you haven't taken enough time to truly outline your goals. This thing takes hours. This is you're not gonna be able to complete the assignments that I'm talking about right now on this call. This takes time to figure out what you're gonna accomplish. When people start telling me about their 5-year goals, I'm like, bruh, the thing that you think is gonna take you 5 years, you can knock that out this year. People are like, yo, give me 3 years, I'm gonna be on the Social Proof podcast. All you gotta do is go win real big and create a relationship with me. It don't gotta be that long, bro. The things that in our head, based on our environment and our experiences, it's creating limiting beliefs for us. And if you want to get out of limiting beliefs, all you have to do is get in another environment of people who believe on a different level. And when you get around a group of people who believe on a different level, it's probably because they've had some experiences and successes that they can teach you. And if they teach you that information, you just got to go implement it, and you go implement it and you win. It don't take forever. So this takes time. I'm only giving you like a template or a format to go through. What do we need to accomplish in the next 4 months? What do we need to do in the next 4 weeks to accomplish it in the next 4 months? Okay. Next, what do we need to accomplish within the next 4 days that's going to help us reach the goal in the next 4 weeks, that's going to help us reach the goal in the next 4 months? This question gets tricky sometimes because I'll say, okay, what do we need to accomplish in the next 4 months? And most people will say, okay, this is what I need to do. And I'll say something like, what do you need to do in the next 4 weeks? And the activity in the next 4 weeks doesn't necessarily correlate to the goal for the next four months. We're just thinking, okay, activity. But I wanted to build off of each other. Let's go back to the board. I need to see it visually. So let's say that the goal is, let's say, for nice round numbers, for 24. Let's go to 24. I want to make $24,000 between now and December 31st. So, hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't picture y'all. Hold on. Give me a second. This is so cool. So I want to make $24,000 in the next 4 months. 4 months. Which means in the next 4 weeks, I have to make how much? How much in the next 4 weeks?
What is that, 6K?
Yeah, about 6,000. Now, the question is, what has to be done? And this is, I'm going to show you like more of a breakdown. You can even break this down into the 24,000 or whatever. Just an example to show you that you don't do this right now. This, like, if you're really serious about hitting your goals, it's going to take some time and attention. So for me to make $6,000 in the next 4 weeks, right? Oh no, I'm sorry. Do that down. Okay. Thanks, Jen. Let's say, for instance, I have a $100 product. how many of these $100 products, services, courses, or whatever do I need to sell within the next 4 weeks to make $66,000? 60, right? Cool. 60, let's say book, courses, whatever, right? We got to sell 60 of them in the next 4 weeks. Now, here's where it gets a little deeper. Do we know our numbers on how much or what activity it's going to take to sell the 60 books or courses? Most people are going to leave it right here. Oh, you just sell 60 courses for $100, you make $6,000. Well, it's easier said than done if we don't know our numbers on activity. The cool thing about like running ads is you can see how much you need to spend to acquire a customer. So you can gauge this a little better. And I'm not saying like you have to go into this right now, but we need to know what type of activity it takes to sell 60 books. What I like for some of you to do, if you're going to do it the hard way, the manual way, I'm cool with that. I want you to keep track of everybody you ask to buy your book or your service or your course. I want you to just keep track. Every time you say, hey, I have eyeglass cleaning company, and I'll clean your glasses for $100. You ask somebody, they say, no, I'm good. So it might be a no and a yes. They say no. You ask somebody else, they say no. You ask somebody else, they say, nope, that's too expensive. I'll clean the glasses myself. They say no again on the 4th time. And then eventually you get a yes. You're like, oh crap, I got one out of 5. And then the 6th person you ask, they say, nope, I'm straight. The next person says, yeah, I'll take it. I mean, no, I'm not gonna take it. And you say, no, I ain't with it. And then the next person, they say, no, it's just too expensive. And the next person, they say yes. Now we see out of every 5 people, 1 person is going to say yes. Are you with me? Out of every 5 people, 1 person is going to say yes. Make it a game. The reason no hurts you so bad is because you don't know how many no's it takes to get a yes yet. That's the biggest problem. That's why you're so emotionally hurt. Because every time somebody says no, you don't understand the numbers. You don't get it. I know. Yeah, I have somebody shooting a DM to like verify people to get on my podcast. Most people are not. Now I'm not into the numbers because that's not I'm not doing the reach out. But I would definitely start tracking like how many people does it take for me to ask to get one? And then I can just shoot a bazooka and say, oh, I'm just going to spray a whole bunch of people because I know the numbers will take care of itself. If this is true, if this right here is true, out of every 10 people I ask, 2 say yes. Out of every 5, 1 say yes. How many people do I have to ask to sell these 60 books? I'm doing some math today. Let's do math. Throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat. How many people do I have to ask to sell 60? Come on. All right, let me show you how to do it. Okay. If you divide 60 by 5, all right, hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. If you so we need 5 times 60, which is 300 people. If we want to sell 60 books, services, or eyeglass cleaning kits, we're going to have to ask 300 people. Now the goal isn't going to hurt us so much because we know if we didn't sell, we simply didn't ask enough. Now we're not tied to the yes or the no. So these are numbers that we're going to have to run. Like goals aren't just like, let's just throw it out there and hope that it works. There's goals. Like It takes planning and strategy and knowing other numbers. These are serious. If you really, really, really want to get into it, and you really want to have like the success that you're looking for to attain the vision that you see in your head, this takes work. So, what do we have to do in this scenario? Over the next 4 days to accomplish this in the next 4 weeks. In this scenario. What do we have to do in the next 4 days to accomplish this goal in the next 4 weeks? It's going to carry us to the next 4 months. Let me just show you how to do it, because I know some people math is not your strongest subject, and that's okay, because every other subject isn't my subject. So if we know that we have to ask 300 people over the next 4 weeks, how many days are in 4 weeks? How many days are in 4 weeks? I'm asking simple questions. If we're using a 78, yes. So can I write over here? Okay, yes. Okay. If we have to ask, oh man, sorry. If we have to ask 300 people in 28 days, right? This simply means we have to ask about 10 people every single day, which means if we're going to accomplish this in the next four days, we have to ask 40 people. So now, the activity says, I need to ask 10 people every single day. I have to make the attempt every single day. Is this making sense? The activity, here's the thing, and I'm not even necessarily trying to teach you all how to do this. I'm trying to teach you that you need to get into the weeds of a goal. We have to ask 10 people every single day. About 10 or 11 people every single day. The reason I'm showing you all this, let me stop sharing the screen because I know these numbers are killing some of y'all. I know it's a headache time right now. I know Jen is looking like, oh my gosh. My point is, this is serious stuff. You don't trip on success. You don't trip on $1 million. You can almost like make some mistakes to make $50,000. You can almost like ignorantly make $100,000. But millions are intentional. I can talk like this because the goal this year is 4x what I thought it was going to be earlier this year. Because I got around some people that were intentional. I invested in myself very intentionally. And everything's been changing. This is not something you do on the call right now. This is something you do in private. If y'all had any idea like what's going on behind like this, like the Launch Your Podcast Challenge, there's so much involved that like nobody even like in my head, like me hitting the goals that I'm looking to hit, it takes a lot of strategy, a lot of numbers. I'm right here with these numbers every day, every single day. We got like 540 people in the challenge right now. This is not by accident, it's by design. I said there would be 500 people in the challenge, but we had to map it out. Not just that I want 500 people in the challenge, but I had to even map out the activity. What I'm going to do to get that. It's not by chance. So all of you that have joined the Launch Your Podcast Challenge, this would be the most amazing experience because I put so much time, energy, and attention into it. I put more love into this than I put into anything in a long time. Because I understand the results of highly satisfied individuals from this challenge. These are like the goal I just see past. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm going to be taking some people to Miami later this year. That are I have an Inner Circle podcast group. It's a small group of us, and I really like it like that. But I have plans for people because I understand that if I can get a person to reach some levels of success, my goals will be so easy to hit, riding off the testimonial. But these are all the things that we think of, not just the fact that we want it. Okay. All right.
Come join the most amazing live mentorship and accountability group for entrepreneurs every morning.
Let's go.
The Morning Meetup. Do you have a business idea you need to get off the ground? Do you currently work a 9-to-5 and are looking for supplemental income? Come and network with like-minded individuals and take your business to the next level. Every morning from 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with David Shands and friends. Try the Morning Meetup today for just $1. Head over to themorningmeetup.com. That's themorningmeetup.com.